Talk Tuesday. And I am here, Dr. Melissa Simmons, co-host of Fem Talk. And I'm so excited to be here, but I'm missing my other co-host, but that's okay. We have our one and only, the best producer in the world who has decided to join me on today's panel. I'd like to introduce Mr. Nicholas Simmons.
Hello.
Hello, Nick Simmons, as you
Yeah.
more popularly called. So, hi, Nick
Yeah.
Simmons. How are you?
Hello. What's up? Hey, Fem
What's
Talk.
up?
Um, I'm very comfortable behind the scenes, making sure this show goes off without a hitch every week, week in, week out. I mean, last week we both weren't here, and I tuned in while we were out, and I'm texting them like statements and questions just
I
to keep the
know.
show going. So, I'm a little upset. So, when they said, "Hey, we have to have the show, like we need an episode. How are we going to make this work?" Um, all eyes looked to me, and I said, "I guess so." So,
I guess
hey,
so.
hey,
Well,
Fem
I'm,
Talk.
I'm excited to have you with us, Nick,
Yes.
because I love how you produce, but I enjoy talking to you on camera, on
Okay.
live
I mean,
actions.
I know this is Fem Talk. I'm not a female, but I am still going to tell you exactly how I feel in every case. All those comments that I sometimes put in the chat, or
You'll do it
sometimes
live
like the comments
today.
I do in chat, or I do it in the private chat, telling you guys what to say.
Yes.
Um, Now I'm just gonna have to give my own opinion. So this should be fun. I'm
This should be
excited.
interesting. We tend to, as my loving husband always says, we're two of a kind. So this should be interesting. The vibe that
That's
we create.
let's see.
Let's
So
see.
are we gonna get started?
Let's get started. Let's start out with, let's go to Ask Fem Talk.
Yeah.
Now, before we go to the question, I just want to encourage you. Hey, Mom, how are you? I love seeing Mom on. She's watching. Hey, Mom, love you, love you, love you. But we love this new segment we call Ask Fem Talk. We hear some great questions. We have one today, but if you have any burning questions you would like to ask the Fem Talk host, feel free to send us the information at our website, www.femtalk.tv.com. So,
Okay.
Nick,
Okay. Also, hold on. Nope. No. If you can email us, so it's
email us.
email us at femtalktv@gmail.com. But if it's easier, get us on Instagram, leave us a message on Facebook, and figure out a way to connect with us. You can message any of the hosts of Fem Talk separately if you want to.
Yes.
We will keep you anonymous if you want. We don't really share any names with this. People that do share, we have taken their names out.
Yes.
But this is a time just for getting some opinions. And I think this one is better than I can really join in on this one.
Yes. So let me start by this. I have a bit of a sore throat because I just came back from a fabulous vacation with, it started out in Phoenix, Arizona with 18 of the Prince family members. We had a fabulous time in a beautiful house in Scottsdale. Actually, we was in Scottsdale, Arizona. We had a
Oh
fabulous
yeah.
time. And then the Amini
Okay. Let's let's
family
let's
on.
let's stop there. Let's get
Okay,
to the
okay.
fun talk because we
Let's
can
get.
talk about the other part.
Yeah, we can. Okay, so one of the questions that came up is how do you go on vacation with your family, or some of you do. I know Shima always does family reunions. They go away all together, and sometimes they I know when Shima does it, they go off without a hitch. Other people do it, not so much. But Nick, we went away, was 18 of us in one house. What was your overall from 1 to 10? What would you say about our
I
family
had a
vacation?
I had a great time. I would definitely give it a 10. But it's a 10 because it was done right. Um,
Nice.
and I think having the right people in charge leading it, making sure things are planned accordingly. You give people time. There's all these different factors that go into it. So from the person who planned it all, pretty much, I think like what was necessary to make that go off without a hitch?
Yeah, I was the big planner, so I raised my hand as a planner. But that's things I do, and I like what you said. I think the people that know how to plan, let them plan. I didn't have no problem doing it. I think first is you let everybody know at or as early as you can. As soon as you have the information that you want to go on a vacation, ask everybody, this is the time period I've selected for us to go on vacation. This one was kind of easy because we joined our Ashley and her WNBA family at the WNBA All-Star Weekend in Phoenix, Arizona. So that the dates were set in terms of when we were going. I sent emails out to everybody in the family. I gave everybody a deadline as to their commitment. At that time, I didn't need the money. I just needed their commitment. So at that time, we got about 18 of the family members committed to go. Once I knew the number of all of the family members coming, then I found a house that could fit us all, because that's always the problem, is trying to find if you're going to go to a hotel. I think Airbnb, VRBO, they now allow you to all be in one location. I've done it where we have different hotel rooms, but I thought this would be much, much more fun. And I gave everybody, within a month, I gave everybody 3 houses to select from. So it wasn't my decision. It was the majority that picked the house. That's the one we went with. And the majority picked this beautiful house. I gave them the cost, how I do it by bedroom, I do it by person. If you want 3 people in your bedroom, you want 2 people in your bedroom, 1 person in your bedroom, you pick your bedroom. So it was done by bedroom. So the cost was divided that way. So it was 3 of you, 2 of you. That's how the bedrooms work, which I think was really easier to do. So that 2 people could split if they wanted to or something like that. I enjoy y'all being back too. Yay. And then we went. So after we did that, we got all the monies together. I told them when we needed the deposit and when we needed the final payment. And I gave everybody, I think I gave everybody at least 2 weeks prior to it being due to get the money in. And I think that was also, when you handle the money up front, that's also easier to deal with.
Yeah.
So
I think the other part about it that like, cool, like we planned it, we figured out, we took care of the money, you had someone in charge of that. I think the other big part of, especially when you're going with people, is not over planning everyone's day, not trying to fit too much in, because it may be, hey, yeah, there was an event that was surrounding it for us to be going to, but no one was forced to have to participate in something that they didn't want to. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong on these family vacations is, oh, you're mandatory to do this, you're signed up for this, and being able to dip in and out and pop out when you want to and not, it works out, because then you had the freedom and the flexibility to do what you wanted to do and maybe take it as a full vacation. You're just around your family. Or some were really into basketball. No, now I get to go see some players that I may have not had the opportunity to get to see as easily right now.
Right.
There was an event that encouraged everyone to be together, but you weren't forced to do anything in the same moment.
Yeah, I appreciated that too, because even I had different things to do once I got there. So I wasn't committed to, okay, everybody has to be at breakfast today. And that was another thing. The way we did the food, I think, was a big burden lifter, because 18 people going to a restaurant, that could be real expensive and really hard to go. So we were able to get a concierge, and they helped us to provided us with a chef, and the chef actually did 2 major meals for us, which really saved on the money and time. We didn't have to run around trying to cook, buying a bunch of groceries. We were able to eat just not that meal, but the leftovers we ate for lunch the next day. So we really kind of, I think that was also fun. Plus, we brought in a masseuse. The concierge was able to get a masseuse in for us. So those that were stressed, I was one of them, got a nice massage. So I think it was, like you said, I think there was a lot of things to do. You could pick and choose what you wanted to do. Everybody didn't do it with the massage. everybody, if the food wasn't what you liked, we had the concierge also brought food into the house for us, so we didn't have to go shopping.
Yeah, I think it comes down to is provide options. If you're
Yeah.
giving people, like, nothing should be locked in, and it goes from the first step when, hey, this is when we're going. If you would like to join, this is your time frame to let me know, right? You
Yeah.
give them that control, and throughout the entire process, you just kept that going, and it made it for a very fun trip. So let the right person lead. I think if there's any advice for it, let the right person lead the trip. Get over
Yeah.
yourself. You're not that, just because you planned it, you're not high and mighty. No one's going to love you a little bit more, because if you plan a hot mess, someone's going to tell you about themselves, especially in my family.
Ain't
And
that
by
the truth?
someone, it's going to be me. I'm going to tell you off. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my money. Don't waste my experience.
Yeah, Nick is the person to tell you. But I like that. I like that notion, because I think sometimes whoever's playing it can make it convoluted, too messy, or like you said, demanding this is what we're doing it just every time. And I didn't do everything. Lamont chipped in, Ashley chipped in. When we got there, you was helpful. Everybody did a little bit of something so that I wasn't stuck doing everything. So don't think I did everything. I helped a lot of the planning. And I think letting people know how much money they needed to be on the vacation was also important. So that, to your point, if you didn't have the money to do
Because you're
something,
not getting paid for.
right, you didn't do it, right? It's like, I'm not doing it. And that's cool. So I give you, let me give you a little bell on that one, because I think that was it. So
Yeah, 100%.
kudos. So if you're going to do your family event, let somebody that knows what they're doing kind of head it up.
Or hire someone. Come on. Or hire an event planner to do it for you.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, and
like, you don't have to do it if it's not your. We grew up talking something. Everyone has you're graced for something, and if you are not graced to plan, hold money, coordinate, speak to people, don't take on that role, because it's not going to end well for you. And I'm gonna double down on that. If you don't know how to manage and hold money, honestly, if that was a family member that we knew that about already, they wouldn't be in charge of it. Who holding the money? Who holding it? No. Really? Y'all, we going? No, we're not going to do that.
That's a big one. Because it was not cheap. And if you think you're nervous for the few $1,000s in your bank account for other people, then yeah, you should give that duty to somebody else.
You can't trust having other people's money in your account.
So if your account is in the negative, don't be using other people's money. How about that? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, move on.
Let's move on.
So I guess next we're doing
hot topics. Hot topics. We should have done a disclaimer, because this first one.
Okay. There is always a disclaimer.
Cool. Yeah. So last week was a big week. Well, we was in Arizona. Host Coach Tracy and Coach Shima, they was here. They talked about our new candidate for presidency for the Democratic Party, Vice President Kamala Harris. And some of the things that came out after that, after President Biden endorsed her, was that there was a call of key Black women that put together a call, Black women for Kamala Harris. They put together a phone call. And let me say this, that call has been going on for almost 5 years. It started when she was vice president, was trying to get endorsed as vice president. So this Black women for Kamala Harris has been in place for 5 years. My sister has been, she's part of the D9 sororities, both my sisters, and my older sister, Roxanne, she has always been on that call for years. And I've even been on that call before, depending on what they was discussing. But as soon as that happened, they gathered these women together and 44,000 Black women within I would say 6 to 8 hours was
Mhm.
worked together and got on that call. I was one of those people. I can say I was on the call. It was phenomenal. You felt the power. You felt the commitment. You felt the dedication to and the oneness of all of those women on that call, prepared to do whatever it will take to get Vice President Kamala Harris to become the president of the United States of America. And when I tell you there was tears in my eyes, especially when the women at the end of the call got on and it was confirmed that almost all of the delegates, at least not
It's
all,
so
that most of the delegates from most of the states had already committed to support her
yeah,
candidacy.
I think it's where that part is. It was really interesting because it was you throughout the day. This, mind you, this was all happened on Sunday. So I think
Right.
one thing to note about this, that turnaround of getting people on a call in a 1 day period was doing it. And they were states and there were delegates that were on the call,
Yes.
Democratic delegates that were on that call, supposedly that were saying, hey, we're endorsing her. And they were getting some of those confirmations. I think
They
later on
were,
in the week, I don't know, but like factually, before even her camp, before anyone was able to actually confirm any of that, I think it took a couple days, but she made it very clear when she was endorsed by President Biden. She made it very clear that she said she was going to work and earn the nomination and
yes,
then the White House.
that's right.
And seeing people step up right away, right? But I think the kicker is, right, Zoom had a limit of 1,000 attendees and they had to get this up. They had to get this pushed up to be able to get to a max where they had 42 or 44,000 women on it.
Right.
Um, and then
And I was listening.
this started a chain reaction, I think, which is cool. Where then you had black men had their own call shortly after it. You had the LGBTQ pride and people of that community had their own call later on in the week. Now I
Yeah.
gotta say it where the number jumped out of the water was the white women for Kamala Harris Zoom
The
call.
white women, let me say
Um,
this, the white
they
women for
had
Kamala Harris. And I listen, and Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird, they were part of the charge to look white women. This is just how they said it. Look, white women, we have to get behind this movement. We have to get out there and support Kamala Harris and also support the black women who put this call together to show them that we support them. This is our time.
yeah.
And what she said
They
was,
hit
this is our
over
time to
a
step
hundred.
up.
They hit over 150,000 attendees on that call.
Yes.
They
I'm
raised
mad at
over
them.
$11 million on that call.
Come on,
Um,
boom,
and
boom.
I think it's really big to point out. You see the energy behind this, and it
Yes.
could be for so many reasons. It could be because you saw stuff about what projected with Project 25, or
Mm-hmm.
you're fighting for reproductive rights, or you're fighting for gun violence, or
Yeah.
you just want decency back into this country that we want to be so proud of.
Right. That you have
And
a
people
president
are speaking.
that's not convicted of crimes. And one of the things when you look at Vice President, and let me say, put respect in front of her name, Vice President Kamala Harris. When you look at her full record, it is impressive. When you look at what she has done, and I hear I hear all the rhetoric, and that rhetoric is just what that is, rhetoric. But when you look into it, when you do your own research, and that's one of the things that she and many other people has been promoting, do your research. Don't take what the commercial bite is giving you. Don't take what these comments are giving you. You do your own research to see what kind of a history she's had and what kind of representation she will give us as a president. And I think that's the things that you need to focus on. But yeah, shout out to all of the people that gathered for all of these phone calls. She's still pushing for the fundraising donations. There's a number of websites you can go on, but I'm telling you, and let me just, one of the things I was going to say is not just on the first call with the Black women, it was not just Black Democrats. They were Republicans on that call. And even the Republicans
I mean, but
on
it's
that
bigger.
call,
It's bigger than party. I don't think that needs to
it
be
was
said.
not a party
But
issue. That's
because
right.
it's but I don't think I don't think I'm gonna challenge you. I don't think we even have to bring it up. We don't have to say it's simply what it was. It was Black women for this thing. It was white
That's
men
right.
for this. It was Black men. It's people are trying to stand up. It's bigger than a party.
That's right.
And some
And
I
people
think
are making that statement.
we're giving too
Mhm.
much credit to the party sometimes when
Yeah.
it's like no, we're just trying to be people.
And that's why I wanted to mention that, because it was, and all of these phone calls have become this. People are standing up. People, Republicans are coming out and saying, this is not just what you just said, Nick. This is not about Democrat or Republican. This is about our country representing the beliefs and the foundation that has been that has was created on. So I think when you look into that, when you want to bring the honor and continue the honor in that in the role of presidency, then
And that's gone.
well then
That's why I say it's bigger than just a party. Like that's why I ignore half that talk because like at this point we're looking for humanity,
yeah.
and I think talking about humanity and something to celebrate, the Olympics are on right now.
Let me tell you now. This is something I have been watching. I've downloaded the Peacock app, and
Then
literally
had that.
every well, I did too, but the Peacock does it best, where you could watch and I forget his name, but the announcer from Red
Don't
Zone
no,
for
no. That was
football.
my talking. Stop stealing my talking points. That is so rude. That is literally so rude of you because
But
that was the one thing I told you I was going to talk about. Okay,
okay,
so
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna jump in
So,
now.
yeah, so go
So
ahead, jump
for
in.
those who love football, and time is getting red, so if you're interested in joining the Fem Talk League, make sure you leave a comment. We'll get in contact with you. But Red Zone is our way of watching football, and Scott Hansen, he's able to get us through the 1 and the 4 o'clock hours because there's so many games. So he knows how to navigate all these games at the same
Yes.
time so you can watch. So they brought him on for the Olympics. He comes on at 2 p.m. every day, and he is doing Gold Zone. So he
Gold Zone.
has Gold Zone. So what they're shooting through all the different events that are going on at that time. But more importantly, they're making sure they stop and highlight every time there is someone about to win a medal. So you get to see. So by watching that platform, you do get to see every medal that's awarded, and they show every medal, of American
And
or
it's even
not. So
bigger
you
than
can
the
see
medal.
all these different sports.
Right. It's so much bigger than the medal, because what he does, similar to Red Zone, he highlights, and now they have eight different sports of, so you can see all badminton. I love
Yeah.
badminton now. I love archery. I love the one, with the, what's the one with the swords? I'm watching them too. I mean, everything.
Fencing.
Fencing, there it goes. Fencing, swimming, and gymnastics, obviously some of the favorites. But basketball, you name it.
So
Soccer,
what I did
handball.
hear is coming. I believe August 9th is its day. It's going to debut. Breaking, also known as break dancing, is an official Olympic sport,
Get out of
and
here.
we're going
Oh
to be able to
man.
watch it on TV. They call it breaking. So when you see breaking, you're gonna look at it like, what is this? It is break dancing.
Break
I don't know.
dancing.
They talk. And I'm intrigued.
Ping
Speedball
pong. I mean,
is
you name
coming
it.
up.
There is not something you can't watch that you can't get excited about. We were screaming for the swimming, for the volleyball. We were screaming.
Track and field has not started yet, so
It
when
hasn't
it
even
does,
started. That's they call the premier event is track and field. I mean, obviously you got the basketball, you got the premier ones. But let me tell you, if you want to just get excited about, and this, let me tell you, we just talk about vice presidency, and United States of America. You want to get excited about America? Watch the Olympics, because they will make you proud. They will show you who they are. They're fighting for their country, and it also allows you to just appreciate other countries. the stories of the one person that was able to come for the country, the first time they've ever competed, the first time their country got a medal, all of those kind of things that they're so heartwarming. They're so exciting.
It's
It
fun
is
to watch.
something to watch. It's fun to watch. But I got to shout out my girl Simone and the U.S. gymnastics
I was like,
team.
we got to give credit to the entire team. We can't do
that
was a team event.
The entire team. I'm going to call them out because I got all the names. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I got
them. If you want me to.
I got the names. I got the names.
Okay.
It is.
She's pulling up the names.
I'm pulling up the names. It's my girls. Okay, we have Simone Biles. We know that. But we also have Jordan. Jordan Childs. We have Suni Lee. We have Suni Lee. We have, okay, I'm missing two. Go ahead, give me the two.
I closed it. I thought you didn't have it. I thought you had it.
It's just too fast. I can't, my mind don't work that fast. Oh my gosh. I don't even know why I forgot to do two girls.
Simone Biles, you have Suni Lee, you have Hazel Rivera, Jade Carey, and Jordan Childs.
When I tell you, I watched the entire event. I watched the first one for qualifying, and I watched today. The U.S. gymnastics team, the talent, and what I loved about them, they did not crack under pressure.
I saw one tweet.
Showed up. I think the lowest score they may have gotten may have been 12 something, and that was today. In terms of their but impressive on the balance beam, on the floor routine, or on the uneven bars, on the vault.
I saw one tweet about Simone, and it was like, she's not just a generational talent, because people try to tag her. Oh, she's just a generational talent.
Not at all.
And they brought that up because she has the most medals in this category, in this field now.
She is the most decorated. She is the most decorated gymnast of all time.
Okay, yes, I know that. What I'm getting to is, it's bigger than just generational when she's creating skills and she's creating moves and they're raising the skill level and the difficulty level to match the level that she's competing on now. She's actually changing the sport.
She has. She's
like,
changed
you can't. But it's not. No. Stop. I'm just gonna say what I said. She's changing the sport because she isn't stopping. Right? If you say change, that means she's done. No, she's still actively.
She's changed. She has done it, and she's still doing it. That's the point. She has done it.
I'm saying change it, but that's what I'm saying, changing, because it's an ongoing process. Just like us in human, where we're always changing. She has actively become one of the first person to really be consistently changing the sport. Back then and now, it's still changing. We haven't reached the pinnacle, and now she's doing it again. No, it hasn't stopped from when she started. That's what I'm saying.
And let me say this. She is one of the oldest gymnasts to even do this. She's 27 years old, the oldest gymnast. And she is, it's like Michael Phelps. He was the oldest when he left the sport, but the bar he set for the swimmers coming, behind him, that's the same thing Simone is doing. The grace she goes about it. In watching it, her last routine was the floor exercise. She actually stepped out of bounds. I think 3 times, but at least twice we were able to count, because I think it's Lori Hernandez, who was the gold medalist from the prior Olympics. She was one of the commentators, and everybody saw it. But her score, her score with the amount of amount of skill she put in it, even in stepping out of bounds, was 14.6. You can't get that. I mean, that means that if she didn't step out of bounds, she would have been at 15 something, which was one of the highest scores in the routine at all. She is beyond. When you say GOAT, it's more than GOAT. She's amazing. But that's all. We just want to give you a shout out about the Olympics and want you to move, want you to tap in. And next week we can talk about some more stuff. But I think right now we're going to take our break, and then we'll come back with our main topic. And we're back. And we're back. And tonight, believe it or not, we are the main topic we're going to be chit-chatting about tonight is Girl Bust Up is about to start its own podcast. Yay! So we're going to go. So we're about to launch the Girl Bossed Up podcast with yours truly as the host. Yay!
Yes.
So, Nick, as you are also producing, you as the producer of Fem Talk, you are also going to be producing the Girl Boss Up podcast. So,
yes, I am.
I'm
in my producer, throw it to me for what?
Throw it to you. Oh, the producers, that the producer is the person that really puts the show together. So tell us a little bit about your ideas for the show and what you expect to see during this new podcast.
Funny. Dr. Simmons, you are hilarious. Okay. So yes, she is launching a podcast and I am producing it. Some things to know, it is going to be available everywhere you get your podcast. So that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube podcasts or music. So it is going to be accessible. So I think the biggest things is as we get ready to launch and start putting information out there, follow Girl Boss Up, follow Melissa on Instagram. Both the pages are connected, so you'll see it. And the episode should be coming out real soon. You may even hear this episode be featured because we're here on Fem Talk tonight, obviously, but we wanted to make sure that we got to share this time and got to speak about it. I don't think I'm the right person to really tell you what it's about because I didn't have the vision. I know how to produce the vision. But what I can say is I think my mom is very active about what she believes in, what she stands for, and giving people an opportunity to just hear that and grow and, find success in their own different ways is going to be a beautiful thing to see. So back to ya. What do you want to, do you want to give them, if you want to hear if you really want a deep overview of how the show is going to be structured and what she's going to be talking about, you can listen to the first episode when that drops. But I think we're going to give them, you're going to talk about one of the days that we're going to be going a lot deeper on in the podcast. You can maybe give them the introduction to that episode.
Yeah. So thank you, Nick. And I am very excited that you're producing this because although we sometimes butt a little heads, your talent.
I'm a challenge. I challenge her.
It's a weird thing. Your middle child challenging you every time you talk. But anyway, that's okay. It makes me grow. So he helps me grow. But one of the concepts that I have is to one of the things I talk about is self-discovery. And one of the things I've learned in my own life is that I had to push myself. I knew a lot of things about myself. I knew I had dreams that I know I wanted. Sometimes you tell people, sometimes you don't. But one of the things I realized as I started growing was that I had to do different things. I had to learn who I was. I had to work on the things I wasn't comfortable with about myself. And in doing that that always allowed me to move into higher and different and better places, mentally, physically, spiritually, and all of it had to do with my own self discovery.
Yeah.
Dealing with my own demons in life. You know, a lot of us have demons that we get, if it's not through our childhood, is maybe when we're growing, you know, when we get older in our teenage life, or maybe it's during our college life, or just life. And all of those lessons and some of the demons that I had acquired during that time, I had to get over. And in doing that and being able to overcome the different things I've experienced in life, I found that as I was able to do that, I became a better person for me, and I was able to give more to other people. So the podcast is going to really take you through self-discovery. Um, you know, one of the three themes that I've come up with is it's about mentoring, meaning hearing information and feeling that somebody's mentoring you. Is about motivation, the words and the conversations we have. We hope they motivate you, and then movement. We hope that what you hear, what you are able to talk about, what you're able to ponder after you know turn off the podcast, is it pushes you to move in the right direction for your life. It pushes you
Yeah.
to in other spaces. It pushes you to take a chance. You know, some of us are, you know, we have fears and we don't take chances. So hopefully you'll hear something that gives you the encouragement, the motivation, the support to move you to do something you never did before. So that's what it's about. And it's going to take on a lot of the questions that I've posed in the 30-day journal. So the 30-day Girl Bossed Up journal that everybody could find on Amazon, it's going to be the foundation we work from. So we're going to ask a lot of different questions about your own self. And during that time, I'll share about me and hope that and then I'll challenge you and hope that that challenge moves you to do something
Yeah,
different.
like I mean, I listen to podcasts all the time, and one thing I can say about it is I do it when I'm out and about, right? That I'm listening to a podcast when I'm in the car or
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in the store shopping. Sometimes when I go to the gym, right? I'll put that on because it's something like it's like having a conversation. So it's something you can do as you're going about your day. You don't have to, I think people think, oh, I don't have time for it. You don't have to sit down and take notes. Guess what? You can hit rewind or listen to it back.
Yeah.
But the thing about that, I love doing it in the car most importantly because I listen to one called Man Enough, and it talks about man masculinity. And I get to the end of that episode and I just sit there and I think and I ponder and I start having a conversation with myself about what I just learned. So I think that's the importance of this thing too is sometimes you are going to have a guest on, right? And they're going to be people that you can share ideas on and we can have, or even similar tonight, where we get to have a conversation about how do we, where we're going and what we envision for it and what we envision for ourselves. But there's also moments where you just get to think and you get to be kind of quiet because it's going to
Mhm.
happen to you as you hosting it. You're going to have moments where you're going to say something and you're going to have an epiphany in a moment and you're going to talk through it and work through it. And the same thing that you're going to experience, it's going to be exciting to see all the people that join in and are bought in and are girl bosses. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to change the name because it's gonna be it's gonna feel like we're just excluding people because there's too much valuable information that that we're limiting. We're kind of setting people away when it's like, no, you actually should get into the room and listen to it.
Yeah, because like you're right. It's not going to be girl bosses only. It's people, and I think the idea of girl boss is really the idea of empowerment, and men and women need empowerment. Men and women need support. Men and women need self reflection in order to grow. And just to kind of give you a taste of it, day one of the journal, I called it "This Is Me." For a myriad of reasons. But it starts out where I think is a good beginning. And on day one, it says, "This is me," and the question then is posed: pick 5 adjectives that describes yourself. And it seemingly sounds simple until you try to find those 5 adjectives that describes yourself. And I know for me, when I went through this process and everything I talk about in the journal and everything I'll talk
Honest
about.
moment, I have never done that.
I know. And that's another thing. A lot of people have never really identified themselves in adjectives. So, and I explained to you how to go about it. Go online and go on Google and just type characteristics or adjectives that describes that identifies a person, and a list of about 200 will pop up. And as you look at it, what 5 perfectly describes you? And it sounds like I said simple until you try to put it together. And one of the things in my reading that I did is quite often, if you go on a job interview, one of the first questions they'll pose to you is, tell us about yourself. And most of us goes on to this kind of a litany. Oh, I'm this in person. And most of the times you're describing yourself at work, right? Or what kind of person you are at work. But we know we're more than the person we are at work. So if you had 5 to describe yourself with, what would they be? So, Nick, I'm going to throw it at you. I'm going to give you 3.
Oh, I got my 3 right here.
Give me 3 adjectives that describes.
So once you said it, I started writing it down. And the first, I got 3. I was struggling with my last 2. So I just pulled up a list. But my first 3 I put down was loyal, passionate, and loud.
Ooh, very good. The loyal.
I have done a lot of self-discovery. So those 3 came out really easy. And
I love that. I like loyal. That's a good one. Very common. The second one again, just
passionate.
Love that one. The third one, loud. I love that you picked that one. So go through all 3, but tell me why those 3.
Loyal was the first one that came to mind, was because if people think like, if I were to die, what would they say? What would they leave on your tombstone? Like, what would they say about you? I know no one in this world. You may be mad at me, and that's where the passion and the loud may come in. We may not have always seen eye to eye, but you can never get up there, and someone can never say about me that I didn't always show up if you called me. I was always there. I tried through the thick and thin, through the arguments, through the BS. I will still show up. I probably will then be passionate and loud telling you about yourself so we can get over it. But I'm going to be loyal, and I'm going to be loyal to a fault. And I'm loyal until you destroy that loyal. Like, that's the one thing that I will go through a lot, but when you try to destroy that loyalty, that's something that's very hard for me to walk back. At the end of the day, someone's going to say, I wasn't loyal to him, and that's why he's not in my life anymore.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that can say I broke my loyalty to them.
Yeah. And people I know that know you and have been around you, they admit to that point specifically that you are very loyal. I've seen it to the point where, your dad and I will say, there he goes again. And have gone, and that
it's
includes,
like, I've been watching House of the Dragon. Don't wake up the dragon if you're not willing to get burnt.
Oh my God!
You don't want to get burnt. Keep the dragon away in the coven and let him sleep. But I will wake up and that's where the passionate loud part comes in. Because I'm gonna stand on business. I'm gonna be passionate in every way. I'm gonna be passionate when I'm happy. Like, you're gonna feel it. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, I stand what I believe, and no one's gonna change my mind either. So you're gonna see that passion, and if you're on the right side of it, you're gonna love that passionate side. That loyal with passion combination is undeniable.
And then the loud just comes.
But there's also, and the loud is just what we are. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. How many times on a report card did I get? great student, loud, doesn't focus. I mean, may not focus all the time and is loud, but does his work. Like, I get it. I'm loud. Not changing me. Guess what? I made it.
What I love about that one, and this is part of it, because one of the things that I discovered, and you're a male, Nick, and I think males have a
Yes.
easier time to admit who they are and are bold about it. Women
Okay,
tend
well,
to
tell that man to go to therapy. I am sick and
well,
tired of the excuse that men can't have emotional intelligence. It is time that we break that curse. We break that cycle. Get your children, get your grandchildren, get your nephews, get your cousins, get your uncles into therapy. They need
and
it.
everybody and
They
right no
need it.
that,
It's okay
and
to cry. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be a man. Being a man does not mean you have to be a honcho all the time, because that's why you fail.
on the
Because
flip
you don't
side,
want to admit
being
your truth.
right, but on the flip side, women tend to be more conservative and not pick the more
Go to therapy. Stand up.
aggressive or the more bold adjectives to describe themselves. That's why I like that you pick loud. You know, most often a woman won't say I'm sexy. Most often a woman won't say I'm beautiful inside and out. We tend to, oh no, well, I may be cute, you know, or this, and we tend to pick the nicer adjectives. But loud doesn't always come off as a nice adjective, and you didn't describe
Yep.
it, and you didn't describe it as a nice adjective, but it does describe you. And I think that, and I think when you look at when most people go through this first page or this first day, those 5 adjectives trips them up. And because number one, what nice? Because in their head, everybody's thinking, "Let me pick the nice ones,"
We are
or
flawed
let
human
me pick the
beings.
ones that
Embrace
people
your
will
flaw.
accept. Right? Will accept. But
Can
if
I
we're
say something
true,
about loud?
mm-hmm.
Because I think for me, right, people, one thing you're gonna hear, I say it all the time. I'm not gonna be loud. I'm when I'm loud, I'm proud, but I'm not gonna be wrong. You're not gonna get all three. So me being loud, it made me take more. It makes me take a step back more often, right? Am I
Mm-hmm.
educated enough to speak? Am I, because I know I'm loud. I know I'm gonna be heard when I speak. So let me not speak from a place of incorrectness. Let me not be wrong when I speak. Let me come correct in
I
everything I
love
do.
that. So
So
the adjectives, yeah,
even though loud isn't the best thing to be described, isn't something that everyone's going to wish to do it. That flaw that some people may consider it, that is on my list of adjectives. I figured out, okay, how do I make my flaw my strength? Because when you hear me, you're going to hear truth. When you hear me, you're going to hear something right. So yeah, I'm loud, but that's where the passionate and loyal thing is, because you know my heart. You know, if I'm speaking, you know I'm being loud and I'm being correct.
Nick, I'm gonna throw something at you because that's it right there. The because oftentimes when you pick when you have an adjective, it shouldn't you shouldn't. Most people are looking for the good ones or the seemingly good ones,
Mm-hmm.
but the I'll throw the golden nugget in there, and you said it. It's usually the cross between your strength and weakness is the adjective you need to put in there, because that understanding what seemingly may look like a weakness is truly your strength, because what you pointed out is that because I'm loud and I don't want to look stupid, I
I can't
make sure
afford to be wrong.
right. I can't afford to be wrong when I'm loud. So if I'm going to be loud, I'm going to make sure I do my homework. I'm going to research it so that my loudness will make a difference. That's what I'm talking about when people are looking for those adjectives that describe them. Because to your point, one of the adjectives that people would use for me is that, oh, you could always see her laughing, and she has a loud laugh. So loud runs in the family, like you said. But now
Shocker.
being loud and laughing loud, it's become for me amen. It has become a positive thing. People say, I hear your laugh and it makes me smile. People said because of the personality you have to bring the laughter into the business world. I'm not scared to laugh. I'm not scared to
Mm-hmm.
smile. I'm not scared because if I'm laughing, people hear that, and for a lot of people, that brings the joy into the room. That brings the peace into the room. That allows the angst that tends to be in the business setting to kind of dissipate. So to your point, being, using that negative that people have made a negative, because you have to be careful. People make negatives. One day somebody told me that one of the adjectives, I'm quiet. And that's my, and what the person said was, that's my weakness. And I said, to who? If you're quiet, that means I think you're listening. Are you a good listener? Yeah, I'm always listening. Oh, so you're tapping in.
They got all the answers.
What? They got all the answers because they tapped in. They done read the room. They done see the problems. They done see the issues, the conflicts, and they're coming in with solutions. And the person looked and said, I never saw it that way, because they wasn't using that word as something positive, because folks made them feel negative. So
but I think that we got to stop there, right? That's very key, though. You can't. And I think this is a lot, and this is why I'm gonna double down again. Go to therapy, please. Learn yourself. Do that work. I'm the biggest proponent of. I can't. It's hard to work with people that are ignorant to themselves.
Well, and let me say this.
But I say that because you can't let, if you don't know yourself and you can't pick these 5 words for yourself, but you're letting someone pick 5 adjectives and you're taking what they're putting on you, you are doing yourself a disjustice. Because how can someone speak over your own life and you can't speak to yourself? Well, that's why I say, if you're struggling getting your 5, you need to do some self-evaluation, and it's going to be hard. It's not easy. And that's why I say do it with a therapist, because that's someone who's going to hold you up when you can't, when you can't figure out that next move. You need someone to go find that friend, find that person that's going to help you, because if you're going to let negative people, or people that don't know you, or people that you don't trust speak words on your life about who you are, and you don't have enough confidence, you don't know yourself enough to say you're wrong. Someone can't tell me something about myself that I know isn't true.
Well, let me say this, and in
closing,
make
me believe something.
We've come to the end of the show, and we didn't even touch it. But I do agree, if you really are looking and seeking for some therapy, is great. Everybody doesn't go to therapy. That's one of the reasons why I wrote this book, because some people do a lot of self-reflection. They do a lot of
journaling. Hire a mentor. I will say
there's other methods on how do you become self-aware. I never went to therapy to find out who I was. But I did do this. I did go through a journey, and this is some of the journey we went through. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. So just in case you don't get to the therapist, or even if you do have gone to the therapist and you want some more self-reflection and understanding, join us on the podcast. Girl Bossed Up, the podcast with Dr. Melissa Simmons. So join us. It's going to be on this book. Get the book. It's on Amazon. And that's all we have for tonight. We love you. Yeah. We can't wait to be with you next week. Fem Coach Shima and Coach Tracy.
No. We are. Okay, producer time. Hey, Fem Talk Nation. How you doing? I personally want to say thank you for dealing with me for a full episode. I know you only get me in bits here and there, but you guys got me for the full thing. What I have to say, I'm so happy to say it. We are on our August break. We won't see y'all until the first week of September, I think, or even the second, because I think it's Labor Day. Yes. But we are taking some time off, and we have so much more in plan and store when we come back for the end of season 4 or the second half. So stay tuned. We have some replays scheduled. If you have a favorite episode from the season, feel free to comment and let us know, and maybe that will be one of the replays for this month. Yes. We love you. And we'll talk to you soon, Fem Talk.